Okay, I did run into a little bit of a problem. The keyway, I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can tighten up on it. Anyway, the keyway, get down in here. Right there. There it is. That guy right there. The keyway was sticking way out over here. And it's only, I think it's 2 5/8 of an inch long. So it was almost, the brake drum was all loose. Let me back this out now. So anyway, because this is a shared keyway for the sprocket and the brake drum was almost off the keyway and it was loose. So I had to reset it. Now I don't know if it was something I overlooked or the keyway's moving on me. So I measured it so I know where it should be, so I'll be keeping an eye on it. If it starts to move, then what I'll do is I'll just go down there with my center punch down there where the keyway is, and inside the keyway, and ping it. That'll keep it from sliding. So that'll fix that problem. If it, if that continues to be a problem, it's just a bug. I had to work out. No big deal. I had to loosen everything up, and I found if you just rock the wheel back and forth like that, after you got your set screws loosened up, just rock it back and forth like that and push on it while you're rocking it. Use your right hand to push it off as you're rocking it back and forth. It kind of rocks it, and I was able to work it loose enough where I could push the pin. It just slid all the way in, so it's where it needs to be. So I should have that little bit on that side, so if I need to adjust it, chain that way, I can. So that's where it should be. So it's all snug down. I'm looking for my marker. I know I measured it, but I'd like to put a mark on it, so I can just look down in there and see if I can see the mark moving out. To know, because I like to ping it early if I can tell it's moving out. I probably should just ping it anyway. Not gonna hurt nothing. That's the bad thing about these keyways is the worst thing that can happen is you're trying to pull the hub off you're trying to pull the hub off the keyway, and the keyway wants to travel with the hub. So if you got a keyway that goes all the way out, you got to pull it all the way out in order to get that keyway loose, unless you can punch it through the other side. But if you center punch them, the directions that you're going to be pulling them off of, so that they don't travel with the hub, they'll just pull off. It makes it a lot easier. So I should have pinged those. So word of advice: when you do the keying, when you key them up, ping them. This morning at 4:30 this morning, I went out to take a ride, because it's cooler, when it gets miles on this thing. And remember the keyway I was showing you is kind of working its way out, and I had to reset it. It's gone. It flew out. The keyway is gone. It flew out. So there's no keyway on this, there's no keyway on that. It's just being held together with the set screws. So this is really self-inflicted, because when I bought the keyway, and besides knowing that I put that keyway on the parts list, and you probably shouldn't buy those keyways, you probably should buy the stock. I bought the undersized keyway, 3/16 undersized, just to help for disassembly and stuff. But the problem is it wants to come apart by itself. Now what I can do is I could put another 3/16 keyway in there, and then put a bushing. I have bushings. I bought some bushings. I'll put a bushing there, and then with the set screw and tighten it up to keep it from wanting to slip out. Or I could ping it, or I could do both. But I don't want to ping it, because I did order some. As soon as I saw that happen, I went ahead and ordered me a 3/16 stock keyway for it. The only thing is with the stock keyways, they fit tighter and they're harder to get off. You know, I like to stay at the undersize, but obviously it's giving me problems. So it's not like it's the end of the world. It's just, you know, a little glitch, another little bug we need to try to figure out. But other than that, it's running good. Yeah, it's been about 24 hours. I haven't really done anything to this. I was gonna put in that undersized 3/16 and just put a bushing on it, but the stock keyway will be here today, probably late tonight at 8 o'clock or whatever. So tomorrow I'll be able to cut it and key it. Now I decided what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put them on separate keyways, because I think what was happening is the brake hit and then the sprocket hitting and the brake hitting the opposite direction. It was making it wiggle, and when it wiggles, it walks, just like on a ladder. If you've ever been up on top of a ladder and you wiggle the ladder back and forth, it will walk. And I think it just walked out and said see you later and left the scene. So I'm going to put them on separate keyways. So that really means I got to take this whole back end apart and start over again. No big deal. Just something that I didn't foresee that would happen. I didn't think it'd be a problem being on a shared keyway, but because the brake is pulling the keyway one way and the sprocket is pulling the key the other way, it's twisting it and it's making it walk. That's why it's coming out. So we're going to put them on separate keyways on the stock keyway. The ones I had in there was undersized, and that didn't help the situation. They just walked right on out. So I'm hoping they'll loosen up the motor where I can just take the chain off without having to take the master link out. But I do have my new master link, so if I have to take it out, I might as well replace it with a new one. Basically, got to just take it apart. It's not going to be too hard to take it apart because there's no keyway in it. It's just going to be some burrs. I'm going to have to take care of some burrs because of the set screws against the axle. I've tightened it and moved it so many times that probably has a burr on it, so it's going to be a little difficult, but once I get it cleaned up and moving around, we'll be in good shape. Well, I got my stock, the one in the plastic bag, by the way. That's the stock 3/16. Next to it is the undersized 3/16. What I decided to do is I am very, very sure the reason why we're having this walking off problem is because we have two opposing forces on the keyway. It's pulling it this way and then pulling it, and it's making it twist and it's walking out. That's the only way that should ever come out. So I like the 3/16 undersized for the fact that when I need to adjust the sprocket, it's easier to move it on the keyway than it is with the stock keyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a stock keyway for the brake drum, and then I'm going to cut 1.5 inches of the undersized keyway for the sprocket, and then I'm going to go down inside the keyway and upset the metal so it can't come out that way, and then I'm going to put a bushing over it and lock a bushing behind it, so that way I'm covered both ways. I got that on a separate keyway. I got that on a separate keyway, and that's on the keyway that I really wanted it for, the undersize. So I'm going to try it, because if it doesn't work out, I can always put the stock in there. But I prefer not to, because they're really hard to move once they get used, where this one seemed to, you can jiggle it to get it loose where you can move it around, which I like that. Plus for the fact that disassembly, because you know you have to take this sprocket off. I am also going to ping when I put the keyway in, the stock keyway into this one. I'm going to ping it on the bottom, so that way when you knock it off, that way the keyway won't want to travel with it, because that's a long way to go, all the way to the end of the axle if it travels with the hub. So what you want to do is I want to ping it, so when you drive it off, the keyway can't move. It's, you know, it's locked, so that way it will slide off the keyway. So that's the right way to do it. I'm not worried about this one. This keyway can't go nowhere. It's locked in position. It can't go that way and it can't go that way, so we're okay on this one. It's just these two we got to worry about. So that's the plan. Well, lucky for me, I was able to loosen up the motor, move it all the way forward, and the chain came right off. So that's cool. So I don't have to mess with the master link. It'll save me some time. Now I'm gonna loosen up the set screws and see if I can't move those driving hubs. Okay, I took a little persuasion, had to kind of pry it out, but it's loose. And here it's free real well, but it's got a lot of burrs in here, so I gotta I can see a bunch of burrs right in here. So it needs to be filed up and cleaned up so that just slides real nice on here. And then I gotta check, make sure that the keyway is nice and clean. And then I need to loosen this one up, and I think I'm gonna, because I'm gonna need to move this axle in order to get this on the end that I want to do. So I'm gonna have to loosen this so I can bring the axle this way. So I have to loosen it all up. So so what I need to do is clean up this axle, because this has to slide down over all this crap. So we got to make sure that's all cleaned up. So the next thing we'll do is clean up that axle and break that loose. Okay, well now I got everything loose. Everything's sliding on and off real well. I got the 3/4 inch bushing on the back, and I set this part of the axle. This part of the axle is all set, bushing set, so it's perfect. Now what I need to do is I can actually take this little bushing out. I didn't have to move it. Slide these out more. Okay. Now I may need to go in there and clean up those keyways a little bit. I won't know until I cut them. So that's the next step. Now I found my keyways. The shorter one is the undersize, and the other one's stock. But I took my micrometers to these things, and I checked them. They're like 180, 182, and this one here is 182. There's no difference. So there's definitely a walking problem from shared keyways. So, okay. What we gotta do now is cut them, deburr them, and install them. The first keyway, the 1 inch. Now we're getting ready to cut. inch. Which is supposed to be this undersize, which I don't believe. Okay, we'll put this over here. Let's see what we got. Okay, that's 1 1/4. Let's see what that is. Close enough. Yeah, I just kind of hold it down and place the blade and tighten it up. Okay, yabba dabba do. Make sure it's tight. So we're good. Yabba dabba do. Ooh, hot. Now to the grinding. For the grinding, got these burrs on them we're going to take care of. See that? Let's see how it fits now. I think it should fit in there just fine. Put it in there. Okay, I got it all the way up against the bushing. That's what I want. Slip right in. Now, okay, that's exactly what I want. I don't want any of that pin sticking out, and I want to make sure it's on the pin, and it is. We're good. So now we can tighten that up and do the sprocket next. Okay, I got the other one ready for the sprocket, which is the 1.5 inch. Squirt a little oil in there. Let's make sure I can. I want that one up against that one. Now I want to take our sprocket, spin it around the right way, and slide it onto the keyway, like that. And now we want to take, well, now we want to take we're going to go in there and we're just going to couple pings in there. That's going to keep it from wanting to come out, but it shouldn't because it's on a separate keyway. And now we're going to slip. Slip it on this way. Now we're going to slip this on up to the keyway. Okay, so I got the sprocket on the keyway and it moves. That's what we want. And we got about a 1/2 inch sticking out for adjustment this way. And we got ourselves our bushing, which is going to go up against the keyway, plus I pinged it. So now we're ready to tighten up the sprocket and the bushing. Okay, so I got the set screws in with some grease on them for the sprocket. They're not tightened, but they're almost there, so I can still move the sprocket. Well, I need to loosen it up a little bit more. Maybe I set it a little bit too tight. So I should still be able to move the sprocket. Yeah, this one's tight. There we go. There we go. So now I'll still be able to move the sprocket back and forth. What I want to do though is I want to lock this bushing into place. Okay, the chain is on and it's lined up. The motor's set, so I can go ahead and snug these down. It's lined up the way I want it. That's tight. So that looks good. Just tightening this up. The kind of nuts I put on these allows the nut to turn, the washer stays. So the nut below doesn't turn. So it makes it easy. Well, here goes the test. Everything's on, everything's hooked up. See what we got. You see how the brake pulls on the back? And the chain pulls on the front, and that pulls on the back. So that's what was twisting the keyway out. So hopefully we'll fix that problem now. Now they're on separate keyways. Everything seems to be in working order. So we're ready to put some miles on it again. Well, if there's any way to fix it, this is the way to fix that driving hub problem. I think we got it licked now. We got two separate keyways. There's no way they can walk. I put a bushing on the end of the axle to keep everything together so nothing can walk off. So we're pretty well covered there. I think we pretty much licked it. I just took it for a ride, and I took it for a small ride because the weather's not very good. And runs great. Runs really good. So we'll update again at the 75 mile mark. And by the way, we got about 50, we're about a 50 to 55 mile mark right now. So I'll update again at the 75 mile mark and see if we encounter any more problems.